Welcome to the story world. Title: Change Your Action, Change Your Life. Mohan clutched the worn strap of his bag, his knuckles white. The bustling marketplace felt like a roaring ocean, its waves of sound threatening to drown him. He was 22, his studies finished, and the weight of his family's expectations pressed down on him like a heavy cloak. His father, a retired school peon, looked to him to provide for the family, especially with his sister's wedding looming. But Mohan had a secret, a shameful secret, that kept him hidden in the shadows of his own life. He stammered. His stammer wasn't just a slight impediment. It was a wall, a barrier that separated him from the world. In school, he was known as Mohan the Quiet, the boy who avoided conversations, who blushed crimson at the slightest interaction. He'd built a fortress around himself, made of silence and self-doubt. He believed that his stammer defined him, that it was an insurmountable flaw. The job hunt was proving as daunting as he feared. Each interview felt like an agonizing climb up a sheer cliff face. His heart hammered against his ribs, his throat tightened, and the words he desperately wanted to speak seemed to tangle themselves into knots. He'd leave each interview defeated, the sting of failure burning in his chest. One evening, slumped on his bed, Mohan overheard his father and sister whispering. He heard his sister's worried voice. "Papa, what if Mohan can't find a job? The wedding, the expenses." His father's sigh was heavy with worry. The words pierced Mohan's heart. He wasn't just failing himself. He was failing his family. That night, something shifted within him. The weight of his family's hopes, the sting of his failures, ignited a spark of determination. He couldn't continue to hide. He couldn't let his stammer dictate his life. He had to change. He started small. He practiced speaking in front of a mirror, forcing himself to pronounce each word, even if it felt awkward and clumsy. He started with simple sentences, then paragraphs, then short speeches. His tongue felt thick, his voice shaky, but he persevered. He even joined a small community theater group, terrified at first, but gradually finding a surprising sense of camaraderie. The theater group wasn't about perfect speech. It was about expression, about conveying emotion. He learned to use pauses strategically, to emphasize certain words, to let his feelings shine through even when his words stumbled. He discovered that his stammer didn't diminish his ability to connect with others. In fact, his vulnerability made him more relatable. He also started reading books on overcoming speech impediments. He learned breathing techniques, relaxation exercises, and strategies for managing his anxiety. Slowly, gradually, his confidence grew. His stammer didn't disappear entirely, but it lost its power over him. It became a part of him, not his whole identity. He applied for jobs again, this time with a newfound courage. He still felt nervous, but he faced his fear head-on. He spoke clearly, pausing when needed, focusing on conveying his skills and enthusiasm. He didn't hide his stammer. He acknowledged it, owning it as a part of who he was. One day, he received a call. A small company, impressed by his skills and his determination, offered him a position. It wasn't a glamorous job, but it was a start. More importantly, it was a victory over his self-doubt, over his fear, over the silent prison he had built around himself. Mohan's transformation didn't happen overnight. It took time, effort, and unwavering determination. But by changing his actions, by facing his fear, by practicing, by seeking help, he changed his life. He not only secured a job and helped his family, but he also discovered a strength and resilience he never knew he possessed. He learned that his stammer was not a sentence, but a comma in the story of his life, a punctuation mark that made his journey all the more remarkable. He was no longer Mohan the Quiet, but Mohan, the courageous, the determined, the man who changed his action and changed his life. For more videos, please subscribe our channel.